Hello, and welcome to the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of June 24th. I'm Catherine Haleko, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
For a weekly episode to talk about parenting in a roundabout way, along with a little pop culture. Mm-hmm. So, speaking of culture,
yes.
As I think we mentioned, my son is currently in New York on a school trip, basically a theater boondoggle for a group of students and two faculty members. 2 weeks, like 12 or more shows.
Wow.
Including a lot of Tony nominees and winners. Mother Play with Mother Play with Jim Parsons and Jessica Lange.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to forget her name, but she was on The Gilded Age. Celia Kinnan.
Oh, Celia Keenan Bolger.
She's in the Mother Play. Uncle Vanya with William Jackson Harper.
Yeah, and Steve Carell, right?
And Steve Carell, but I was like, William Jackson Harper.
I know. So exciting. Also, Alison
Hell's
Pill,
Kitchen, they saw. Yeah, Alison Pill's in that too. Hell's Kitchen, they saw. That was a Tony winner. To see Merrily We Roll Along.
Oh, cool.
Uncle Vanya and Merrily We Roll Along are both like imminently closing, so they're getting in there right on time. So they saw The Great Gatsby, which is a newish musical adaptation. And he's been, giving me reviews.
Which has he liked best, or is there something he has not liked?
He liked Hell's Kitchen a lot. He liked Mother Play. He liked Uncle Vanya. He, as of this recording, has not seen Merrily We Roll Along yet, but I think he's going to love that.
Yeah.
He did not care for Water for Elephants.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Boy, I read that book and liked it, but they made it into a movie, and now, is it a musical?
Yes.
They've made it into? And it's like maybe diminishing returns here, y'all. Maybe it's a story best reserved for the page.
Right.
Because it doesn't seem like the movie got very good reactions, and I can't imagine that the musical will either. Did you read the book?
I did read the book, and I remember liking it.
I did.
But then I also remember I went and read something else by the same author and did not care for it at all.
So fie on all that author's related work.
So maybe it was a one-hit wonder kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he said that the acrobatics and the circus stuff were very cool. But if it wasn't for that, like, the whole thing would have been a real dud. Yeah. But he said he felt like somebody was like, we want to do circus stuff on a Broadway stage. How can we do that?
Yeah.
Oh, here's a book. We could do.
Well, they did that. Was it Pippin that they did that with a while back?
Yeah, Pippin is set in the circus.
They had circus acts in it. It was around the time that Neil Patrick Harris did that legendary opening number.
Mm-hmm.
At the
Tonys,
at the Tonys,
right,
and including circus acts. So
right.
I watch that every so often when I need.
Yeah, that is fun.
So glorious.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just want to see circus acts, go to the circus. If you're going to put them in your play, you got to have something else around it.
Yes,
that people want to see.
Yeah, and he said he didn't like the device of having like the main character as an old man framing the story, and I said I think that was in the book.
Might have been. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I'm terrible at remembering.
In the book, wasn't it? Weren't there a lot of being on trains? I wonder how they do that on stage.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway, that's so exciting to see all that stuff. To see such a glut of stuff all at once is pretty cool.
It's almost too many. Almost like, can you keep them all straight? But so far he is.
Well, when you're young and have ever so many more brain cells, it's probably a lot easier. And it's also when it's your passion. So,
right.
I'm sure he has critical thoughts about each.
He does.
based on what he's studying and what he wants to do. So that's great.
Yeah.
I'm slightly jealous on a few of those, but not jealous enough to actually get my butt across the river and watch things. I will just tell me about them. What did you see?
Right.
Let me read this review. I'm good.
Yeah.
Maybe there is some online venue for watching Broadway stuff.
Yeah, we did. We watched one time.
She Loves Me, I think. Mm-hmm. And every now and then I see something on my timeline that they've got another one in there. But I don't think it's everything. Still.
No, and you had to pay a little bit to watch it,
yes.
right? Yeah.
But compared to what you would have to pay to actually go see it live.
Right, exactly.
But, good for old ladies who fall easily and pinch their pennies and wish to enjoy culture from their couch.
Right.
As they fall asleep.
Well, I did hear or read somewhere that they're going to film Merrily We Roll Along.
Oh, I bet they will. Yeah.
Since they only have these stars for this length of time.
Yeah.
So
they should release that theatrically, probably. Get the Daniel Radcliffe audience in there.
Or maybe they'll do a Hamilton Disney Plus thing.
Yes,
or
there
something.
you go. They could do that. Mm-hmm.
I think something like that, for sure.
I would watch that from the comfort of my own home.
Right. Same.
I wish it well. It's not like we have balls we can go to or any other forms of entertainment. We just
maybe an ice cream parlor.
Maybe an ice cream parlor, yes.
But
you have to get very, very dressed up to go to those ice cream parlors. If I can't go there in a t-shirt and shorts, I got ice cream in my freezer. It's fine. How exhausting it must be to live in a time and place such as Bridgerton when you have to go to so dang many balls and you have to have a new dress for each one, right? And the dress
sounds like it
has a life of its own. Is large and requires somebody to help you put it on. And I feel for the Mondriches who you think probably would really, really just rather be home.
Right.
And yet they are forced by the demands of their new station to put on the big dress and the jewelry and the suit and go out and about. Well, the kid gets to stay home. The kid who caused all this gets to
right. And he's staying home, like playing with what was Gregory telling him, like, I have a bow and arrow. Yeah.
And mom and dad have to go out
and give up their bar.
Give up their bar.
Up their club.
Yep.
This is true.
So we watched the end of Bridgerton season 3. That's the last 2 episodes that were called Joining of Hands, which did indeed see Penelope and Colin get married. Yay! And Into the Light, which revealed the true identity of Lady Whistledown. Right. Thank goodness.
Finally.
Enough of this. Much to Cressida's dismay, her little blackmail attempt did not work.
No, it didn't.
Tip of the hat for her for thinking of it. Good for you, sweetie. You figured it out.
Right.
Probably if you hadn't doubled the sum for Colin, you could have gotten the money, but,
Yeah, but Colin did really
go bigger for the whales. Yeah.
Yeah, he did not handle that well. But
from the moment where he insists to Penelope that he will handle it, and she sort of looked like, hey, man, I can take care of myself. And he just goes and takes it over. I'm like, this is not going to go well.
Nope, sure isn't.
Oh, man.
And it does not. But, they still managed to give it a whole happy ending, including producing a male heir, getting Portia off the hook for stealing all of that money.
Yeah.
Also, I truly loved the two sisters' babies being dressed just like their mothers.
Yes.
The little girls with like the gowns basically and stuff in their hair. And I was, that just thrilled me. Like,
yes.
Somebody had the best time with that.
Kudos as always to the costuming people.
Yes.
For their outfits for those big and tiny.
Right.
But,
outstanding.
And the sisters got their ball. That was very sweet. And the bugs. The bugs deployed at exactly the right time.
The bugs.
Who knew that's what she meant? I got some bugs. You can have some bugs from my house.
Right.
Come on down.
Come on down.
Oh, very nice. And obviously the outing herself was the correct way to handle everything for Penelope.
Right.
Because it was always going to be a thing.
I'm not sure that the Ton is going to be as forgiving as they pictured it.
As she foresees.
Yeah.
But we don't have to worry about that until the next season comes. So we'll put that in the same file as what's going to happen to the marriage in the Gilded Age when the husband finds out that she used the daughter for collateral to get somebody to her opera. I'm not going to like where that goes, but it's not going there yet. So I'm just not even going to think about it. But she gets her little moment of triumph anyway.
And there were many great moments, and there were many moments where you could say, I don't know. Including, I certainly see now where the Francesca story is going, and I do not care for it. Not because of the whole, like, same-sex thing, but because, like, happily ever after is the way it's supposed to go.
2 things I will say without being spoilery. Number one is that it was not same-sex in the books, which is the thing that people were kind of losing it over. Some people going, yes! And some people going, how dare you? He was the best man in all of these stories, and now he's not going to exist. And I guess there was an infertility storyline attached to it that people who felt seen by that were sad to have go, and the people who are very excited about it are very excited about it. Also, consider that there are ways in which marriages can end that do not, there's a part of the marriage vows.
Do not involve infidelity. Okay.
Exactly. Till something do we part. So.
Right.
Regardless, I did not like it when I heard that part of it. I did not like the twist. I don't like any of it. But it's not next season, right?
I don't even know who's next.
Season, isn't it?
Benedict?
I think Benedict's next. People who are fans of the Benedict book will be super PO'd if it's not next, because I think it was higher in the sequence than this already.
Okay.
So I'm seeing a lot on Twitter of Benedict is next. He's next. Shonda, he's next.
That, and then Eloise, like, I love you, girl, but the way to go, I need to see the world. I need to meet new people. So I'm going to go to Scotland with my sister and her hermit husband and live in a castle where I don't know anyone and I will never meet anyone. What are you doing?
Yeah. I don't know. It is questionable, is it not?
Convenient, yes, but
girl really wants to get out of the house. Maybe she could visit Cressida in Wales,
Yeah, I just don't see how this is going to achieve the effect that you want, but maybe that's in the books too.
I do not know if it's in the books or not, or if the actress is going to be busy for the next time and she can just ship me to Scotland and then we'll just say that's where she is.
Right.
I don't know. Not knowing the books or who was figured in what. Somebody was saying that it looked like the two the two Featherington sisters are at the end of their Bridgerton road, and we shall not see them again.
Right.
And one of the actresses put something on social media that sounded like, hey, it's been fun.
Right. It has for those two. It has been fun for them.
It has been very fun. This was a fun one for them. And I really, in this one, these last two episodes especially, I just really enjoyed their husbands. You know, these two dudes are just along for the ride. Whatever happens, they're cool. They're just tagging along.
Yes.
No ego or spitefulness or anything. They're just, okay, this is what we're doing now. Okay, sure.
I mean, they're honestly very lucky, both of those girls, to have matched up with those two.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Which, if that was all
goofballs to go along with them.
If that was all Portia's doing, good for her, because she matched them up well.
Yes. Dudes are well suited. So did you watch Queen Charlotte?
Yes.
Because I did not. So there was apparently a plot in which the now Lady Danbury was having a romance with Violet's father?
Yes. Although, to be honest, I don't remember a whole bunch about that. But yes.
I assume
that's what they
from
were
the fact
discussing.
that there was so little information given, and also from the fact that people mentioned it on Twitter, that it was a thing on that.
Yeah.
Because it seems like if you didn't have that information, it would be difficult to understand just what the heck was going on there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it had to do with that. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think if I did not have people posting clips from Queen Charlotte that had to do with that, I think I would have said, what now? Mm-hmm. What? Your father? Have we ever heard of your father before? Do we know anything about your father? So, but I do very much like the friendship between Violet and Lady Danbury. Violet and Agatha, I guess I should say.
Yes, that is wonderful.
And, her brother seems entirely delightful.
Mm-hmm.
And has a very nice smile, which he deploys frequently towards Violet. So.
Yes, I'm glad that they seem to have worked that out so they can...
Yes. Even though she's, to some degree, like, what the bleep am I going to do with a suitor? I'm not supposed to have suitors. What are you doing?
She still has how many more left to marry off? She's got 4 more to go.
She's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
She got 2 for 1 this time.
I know.
So. And I enjoyed Gregory trying to read Colin's book and being discouraged. How old is that kid supposed to be now? Because they're treating him like he's,
They're treating him like he's 5, but I think he's supposed to be about, I don't know, 11 or... Well, he's got to be like... Because he's supposed to be older than Hyacinth.
He's older than Hyacinth, yes.
And she's got to be like...
Their father died.
13, 14, right?
We've come to the unfortunate time in the development of both these actors when girls look older than boys who are the same age or younger. Yeah. So she looks definitely older than him, even though she's probably not. Right. She's grown, I think. She's possibly a little taller than him.
Yeah.
I think he told her to slouch quite a bit. But, boy.
Well, someday they're going to have to recast him. Because
he's not going to grow slowly they go,
Yeah, I guess.
They keep spacing these things out. They can wait him out.
I just read that, speaking of Merrily We Roll Along, which takes place over the course of 20 years, Richard Linklater is making a movie of it that, like he did with Boyhood, he's filming it over 20 years, like he did with Boyhood.
Yeah. That is such a cool idea.
Yeah.
Who's in it?
I don't know, actually. Should I do a quick...
That's one of those things where, boy, it's such a commitment to hire the actor who's going to do the young version. So it's like, please keep yourself safe.
Here we go.
No speeding in cars for you. We're going to make you do drug tests once a week.
Okay. Oh, it's Ben Platt. and Beanie Feldstein
Oh my gosh.
and Paul Mescal.
Okay. Yeah.
So Ben Platt is in the Daniel Radcliffe, sort of supporting part.
Right.
Beanie Feldstein is the woman, and then
Pretty sure that he and Beanie are pals from childhood.
who? Ben and
Ben Platt.
Ben Platt.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I've read such things, so that seems appropriate.
Paul Mescal is kind of a of the moment
Is he a theater
kind of person. No, I don't think so.
Well, interesting. That is an interesting idea, and boy, would I be nervous.
I know. Well,
That long. Even Boyhood was pretty much of a risk, but
yes. Well, Linklater is like 63 or something, and he did start this a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, I'm going to be 80.
Wow.
So let's hope it all goes
Good for
well.
you, buddy. It's a good idea. Would have been good to start it 20 years ago.
Right.
Just go back in time.
Yes.
Oh, well.
Well, any further summation of our thoughts on Bridgerton season 3?
At one point I put in my notes, "Oh, Colin, you are such an idiot," which is pretty much the subtitle for this entire season.
And not just this one.
That's right.
The past two as well.
You're an adorable idiot. And you
Yes.
come around, but still. Oh, my dear.
Yes.
Noticing as we do that these last two episodes were a little longer, as they often do at the end of the season.
Right.
I could have easily fast-forwarded through all the Benedict scenes. Mm-hmm. Maybe the one on the swings with Eloise I could have kept. But are we really back to the canoodling? Mm-hmm. Enough. We get it. Move along. Either do something with this or don't. At the end, it was like, oh, well, that was just for fun. It's like, nothing is going to come of this. There is no plot.
Yeah, there just was so much. This whole season was, there's just too much. We did not.
It is weird, and it makes me wonder what was in the book. Because, a book may well have a large number of different plot threads. And you put up with it because you're with it for a much longer period of time. Mm-hmm. But for this season, it felt like Penelope and Colin's relationship kind of got short shrift. Because somebody on Twitter said it was more a Lady Whistledown season than it was a Polin season. Mm-hmm. Their relationship was just kind of shorthanded.
Right.
And I mean, really, it went from him hardly, not seeing her that way to seeing her that way, sort of on not a commercial break, from one episode to the next. It's like, did somebody actually hit him over the head? I was doing it. Right. Did somebody actually do it? Huzzah!
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't really see it kind of growing naturally. All of a sudden, it's just, I wished that they had edited a little more, not tried to do so much.
Yeah.
I don't feel like the other episodes were quite that way. The other seasons were quite that way. I feel like they were more focused on a single couple.
And speaking of that, could we not have even had a single line to explain why Daphne has been not at any of her siblings' weddings? Could we just say she's very pregnant? Exactly.
Yeah. Although apparently you can go to India when you're pregnant and
no way. I don't believe that at all. Come on now. And they were gone 5 minutes later. They're like, let's do this. Okay. And then you never saw them again. No.
Yeah. Somebody was, I think, on social media saying that given, his history with the trauma he had over his dad dying, and then she had that accident, and it's like he's going to just say, oh, well, let's get on a boat and go to India while you're pregnant. Sure, that'll be fine. I see no problems here. No.
I see problems.
There will be time for that, sir. Mm-hmm. So I wondered if that was in the book or if that was just a sort of
You sort of, can we get rid of these two as well?
It's important to know about our family of color. It's much more important than staying here with all these white people. So let's go. I don't know.
Yeah.
Of which there was a fair amount in this series, which is fine, but it's just logistically, this one doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, I just don't think you can just, the way these people have to the way it takes so long to get anywhere and the way they bring trunks and trunks full of stuff wherever they go. How did they leave the next day? Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah. No, it's nope. They're doing too much.
Yeah.
Edit, y'all. Take all that extra stuff, make it an in-between series. Hey, here's a little fun, release it on YouTube, Here's some scenes that we decided to prune out.
Right.
And focus on the people we're here. The couple that we're expecting to be focusing on.
Right.
What do we know?
Yeah.
Shonda Rhimes is pretty good at TV. I suppose she knows what she's doing.
She is.
I have a few notes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's
still enjoyed watching it.
We
still happy it's in the world. So
yes, and certainly it was. I had over the week kind of looked ahead to some of the episodes. I was going to watch them at the last minute, but I want to see what happens with this. And so I felt like I had watched most of it, and I thought, well, before we record, I'll just have them on, and I'll do other things, and I'll catch a few scenes that I missed. I sat and stared at the screen the whole time, even though I'd seen some of it before. It's just very compelling, and the acting is very good, and it's very enjoyable. And so one hates to quibble, but hey, that's why we have a podcast. So.
That's right.
Quibble I shall.
Mm-hmm.
I shall.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
But probably other people wish, why wasn't there more time for this plot? I wanted this plot.
Right.
So it does make me want to not so much go back and read the books, but stand in Barnes & Noble and flip through them and see what was actually in them.
Yes.
That'd be fine, right? They don't mind that.
I did put them on my, to read list.
Yeah.
But that list is quite long, so I don't foresee myself
one day,
getting there.
Perhaps.
Yes. But we should talk about some other books that I discovered.
We should get to Catherine's Library Find of the Week with special love for our past podcast participant, Nicole.
Yes.
If you're listening, Nicole, if you're still listening to this podcast, you might want to fast forward through this thing because it will be distressing.
Yes, this is a little trio of children's books that I call Nicole's Nightmare because they're all about vegetables.
No, not vegetables.
The first two are new that just came out. The first one is called Frankie D. Vegan Vampire by Sally and Brian Dutra, illustrated by Tiffany Brown. This is an early chapter book. First one in a series.
The blood out of beets or something?
Yes, basically the Frankie's family of vampires, for some reason, which I'm not sure if it's explained or not, but they leave Transylvania and they move to the U.S., mm-hmm. and so now they cannot, they're trying not to be vampires anymore, so they're vegan. They're only eating, not plant-based foods. And it's just about, Frankie learning to assimilate into a new culture and make friends in a new school and all of that. So...
Is he deflating all the dodgeballs?
So that, and it's, I think I said that, first in a series. So we'll get more of Frankie's adventures of is not eating, not biting human necks, but instead eating lots of vegetables. So that's the first one, and it's a chapter book, so it doesn't have as many illustrations as some other things that I've talked about, but it still certainly does. So check that out. And then the next one is another new one. It's called Harold the Iceberg is Not a Superfood. And it's about a head of iceberg lettuce, of course, is the hero here. And this is actually a sequel. I was not familiar with the first book, which is called Harold the Iceberg Melts Down. But in this one, Harold encounters Kayla, who is kale, and is just absolutely awestruck by Kayla. Kayla is a superfood, unlike because kale is a superfood, and iceberg lettuce, unfortunately, is not. He's just absolutely
it's crunchy and delicious, but that's probably not what he wants to hear.
Well, I believe the book is about him learning that, he has value, even though he doesn't have as many vitamins as Kayla the kale.
Are they lettuce shaming? Is there lettuce shaming going on here?
No, they're helping him learn why he is just as good as
You're a worthless
kale.
piece of roughage, but hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
Slather you in ranch and you're all good, man.
Nice crunch. So that's Harold the Iceberg. Is not a superfood by Lisa Wozliak, illustrated by Rebecca Syracuse. And finally, an older book that I just recently encountered. It is called One Big Salad, a Delicious Counting Book by Juana Medina. And this one has photographs of vegetables that have then been drawn on to turn into little animals. There's radishes that are mice.
Adorable.
Like you've encountered. We've discussed mice recently.
I like the little orange slice cats running around the edge of the bowl. That is so cute.
We're counting with all of these cute little critters that are made out of vegetables. So, and that author also has a book about shapes, which is done in a similar way. So.
Yeah. Well,
so there you go.
How delicious.
Steer clear, Nicole.
Yes. She may not mind vegetables in print. It's just on the plate that they're distressing.
Yes, that's probably right.
Still. I don't know. Well, why don't we spin off from that into a jaunt through our archives to see what we were talking about 1 year ago, 2 years ago, and 9 years ago this week. This week, last year, we were talking about family gatherings and whether one should force one's children to participate in them. And in my case now, it's whether
they force you.
Force me to participate. My husband had a little get-together with his brother and sister and his brother's wife. They went to a memorial service for a cousin. And the kids were both working, and I needed to be home to pick my son up from work. So he just went, and the four of them shared a hotel room the night before. And I talked to my husband the next morning, and, how did it go? How did you sleep? And he goes, these people never stop talking. And then he went to the memorial service where there were a long string of speeches, and then to a luncheon where people were talking and talking and talking and talking. So, family.
That was quite enough talking for him.
He fled there like Francesca and her husband going to Scotland.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So I was like, should I try to make myself be able to go to this thing? Because it was, lots of extended family and stuff. And I feel like it's probably my place to be there. But darn the luck.
Yeah.
Had to, kids, what are you going to do? Even if they're in their 30s. Kids. You got to be with the kids. But my son does very well at, I think as I said in that episode, at wakes. He's got all the lines. It would have been nice if he could have gone with his dad. That would be our family represented, our family group. But other than that, we really don't get together with family very much anymore. Other than to drop the dog off from time to time. Yeah, the dog spends more time with our relatives than we do.
Well, this grabbed me this week because, with my son being on this trip, we have some relatives in the city, and, before he left, there was sort of, he wasn't sure about making plans. I mean, he pretty much knew what his schedule was, but he was being a little bit like, I'll just have to see when I get there. And so I was stressed about, like, is he going to actually follow up? And, I know he wants to see them, but is he going to, put in the work to make it happen? And
it's hard when you're with a group. It's not like he's there on his own.
Right. And, he had thought, he had been sort of told that, they weren't to be going just off on their own. They needed to be with a buddy, And so I was like, is he going to just drag somebody with him? Whatever. But anyway, he worked it out, and he's seen them twice, actually.
Nice.
So he figured it all out, how to make plans, when to make plans, how to get there, how to get himself back and forth. And so I was really glad, because I was kind of worried about that. Because I find that a little stressful. Like, if you're going to be somewhere where you have friends or family, but you're going there for another reason, sometimes it's difficult to make those plans, and and you can't see everyone, and then you feel guilty, and
and you don't want people judging you were here and you didn't see us, but at the same time you can't always do it.
Right.
Lady Whistledown is going to include you in our column. So and so was in the town, but did not visit their family. What was that?
Right.
Oh well. Yeah.
So
let's see. This week, 2 years ago, we were talking about photo shoots. In terms of, like, sexy maternity photo shoots, which
that's right.
Thing. And then we were thinking about, well, maybe we should continue this sexy photo shoot theme throughout your kid's life. First day at school, mom and dad are getting sexy back home. And, kids finally moving out of the house. Woo!
Yeah.
Old people sex. But we were just thinking of different milestones that should be professionally commemorated.
Right. It doesn't have to be the boudoir shot, but
I don't know. Maybe I should have a 65 photo shoot.
Yeah.
Show all my carbuncles, and the other day my skin just opened up randomly and started to bleed. Not a cut. Just the cells said, you know what, we're tired. We're just going to let this blood right on through. So that's a nice old person thing. It's the kind of thing I can do. I can frame it in a photo shoot. Thin skin. Gray hairs.
That's right.
Growths on the skin that we have no idea where they came from or what they even are, but there they are.
There you go.
We could have just such a... Maybe black and white would be good. Very tasteful. With maybe some Vaseline on the lens. Could I get the Sybil Shepherd lens for moonlighting? Maybe I could get that.
I'm sure you could.
Somewhere
if you're
there.
paying for it,
Terry,
you
happy
get...
birthday. Here's the wrist I broke.
Yeah, you could do them for significant, injuries, surgeries, hospitalizations.
Yeah. You could just, show off my new parathyroid scar. Yeah, it's all downhill from here on the photo shoots, I think. I don't know. Let's see. We have a big anniversary coming up. So I think next year will be 35. So I guess we could do a photo shoot for that.
Yeah, like between the birthday and the anniversary. You got two occasions.
Mm-hmm. I do. So how about you? What photo shoots are you having? You have the empty nest photo shoot now, but
yeah, I was thinking about how
I will never have.
I was thinking about how at the end of last year, when my son was finishing high school, I put something on Facebook, like on the last day that they were attending classes. I put something like, happy last day you'll ever get an attendance voicemail to all who celebrate, and it received quite a lot of comments.
That's hilarious
because it was so frustrating. The kid would skip a class, which he did all the dang time, and if he only skipped one class, you would still get the phone call. You would get a phone call to the landline, which we still had at that time. That should have been my reason for getting rid of that. A phone call to the landline, an email, and a text to both me and my husband every time he skipped one single class, including the, sort of study hall, homeroom type class that he had. And so I tried to get my husband taken off of it because he would get so stressed out by it. Oh my God, it was so annoying. I would have done a photo shoot for that. Stop calling me. So I still enjoy that. Yeah. That is over.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
They should text the kids relentlessly and post it on social media.
There you
tag
go.
them on social media. Where were you? We missed you today.
Exactly.
Hassle them. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can only do so much.
I think last time I mentioned that I would have had to have I could have had a big photo shoot for my last IEP meeting, and lots of jumping in the air and hooting and hollering and throwing ripped copies of IEPs in the air. And I haven't really had anything like that since then to celebrate with the kids so much. Right. Jobs, I guess. But that's not really me. I'm behind the scenes on those things.
Right. But I feel like you should get some credit.
I do a lot of hooting and hollering at the Special Olympics. I guess you could have taken my picture there.
Mm-hmm.
It's team morale captain.
That's right.
Really, for every team, because I just scream at all the kids as they go by.
Yeah, right.
Go, you can do it, go. I think they run faster just to get away from me. So my work here is done. You could take pictures of me straining my voice and jumping up and down unwisely. Right. So in 2015, so this is 9 years ago, we were talking about the topic of the title of the episode was Introverts, Extroverts, and What Makes Us Cry. And this was keyed to the first Inside Out movie, and there is now another Inside Out movie.
That's right.
So
it took them 9 years to make another one. And we've been here the whole time.
Yeah. I did not see the first one. Will not see the second one, but I wish it well.
Yeah, but don't you have Disney Plus?
I do. I do not have time to watch half of the things I want to watch. And that one I'm kind of like, eh.
It was good. The first one was good. It's got Amy Poehler.
So are you planning to watch the new one?
I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I can't see myself actually going to a theater to see it. And I don't have Disney Plus. So might have to check it out from the library or something.
Have a special a free trial of Disney Plus and then cancel it.
Yeah, we've had it before and gave it up. So
do you ever go to the movie theater for anything anymore?
I mean, once in a great while. I think the last time I went was maybe Christmas time when I was in California with my family and we went to see a movie.
Yeah.
Because my parents, in their retirement age, have started going to movies. They never went for years and years and years. But now they go sometimes. So, Yeah, that might have been the last thing I've seen. But as I think we've talked about, like, you know, an animated movie's fine, but any movie that has any sort of shaky camera work or 3D anything, I absolutely cannot. I can't even watch that on a small TV.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be sick immediately. So it's not worth it.
No. And it's also, it's the same problem we were talking about with plays, is that the cost of going to the movies has gotten so high that it puts too much pressure on the product. Mm-hmm. I mean, certainly not as much as a play or a concert, but still, when you start to add it up, and if you want popcorn and if you want a soda, and it's like knowing that I am paying all this money for streaming services that I can sit and watch in my house, and then I'm going to go out of the house, pay for a ticket, sit in seats with strangers, some of whom will not be well behaved, to watch a movie. I'm just not that. Yeah, I'm the problem. I've been reading a lot of, why don't people go to theaters? They're destroying a certain class of movie. You know, people will go for the big superhero movies, but adult movies are never going to survive if people don't go see them. And it's like, well, then I'm real sorry about that. But I guess the Fall Guy is an example of something that had enormous goodwill, and then just people didn't go to the theater to see it because we're all waiting for it to come to streaming. But then it gets reported as disappointing box office. Right. So I'm real sorry. It seems like a fun movie. I look forward to watching it on my couch. Right. Exactly. And then falling asleep and then watching the rest of it the next day. I think Moana might have been the last time I saw a movie in the theater. How long ago was that?
Oh, that's been a while.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yep. Well, speaking of movies that we're going to watch on streaming. They have a really
good home theater at the castle in Scotland. I bet Francesca and Eloise and Michaela and
John
will be having some good times there.
Right.
No need to go to the theater with the rabble. We'll just Netflix and chill here.
That's right.
In the theater wing of our castle.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. I would, were I them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Watch balls on TV. It'll be fine. Don't have to socialize at all.
Yeah. Well, shall we wrap that up for today?
Yes.
Because I was going
to sit and listen to us.
Well, because I was going to mention, since we were talking about movies, that's it for the Parenting Roundabout Weekly Roundup for today. But for next week, we are going to watch a movie. Not in the theater. This is a movie from 1999. So we are going to watch it streaming on Hulu. And
with no guilt.
That is The Talented Mr. Ripley. We thought after having watched the series, we definitely wanted to go back and watch. Well, I've seen it before. You think you haven't.
I have not. And I'm curious to see how they differ and the relative strengths and weaknesses of each. So it will be very interesting.
So we're going to watch that, The Talented Mr. Ripley. This is the one with Matt Damon and Jude Law and Gwyneth Paltrow and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
And Cate Blanchett playing a character that I don't think was in the series.
Oh, okay. I forgot that. See, I don't know these things. Anyway, so that'll be next week. You can find all of our episodes on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. And you can also talk to us on our Facebook page, on Instagram, or Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chats. And please visit our Amazon shop at amazon.com/shop/mamitude, where you can find links to a lot of things we've talked about over the years. We'll see you back here next Tuesday. Bye, Terry.
Bye, Catherine.
Goodbye, everyone.